everyone, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to Nina's Chelsea Corner for another live show. It's been a hot minute since I last did a live stream, but I'm back. And coincidentally, it's after a win for Chelsea. So we'll talk about the Villa game, we'll talk about the Crystal Palace game on Monday, talk on Pochettino, of course, because that's been the hottest topic around Chelsea in the last couple weeks. And yeah, so tune in. Hit the like button if you haven't done so already. Do leave your comments. As always, let me know your thoughts. But yeah, a good win to bounce back from conceding 8 in a week. We know the Premier League has been a struggle for us, but it seems that these cup games are a bit of a distraction from a poor league run, which is always good. But yeah. Hi, Liv. I hope you enjoy the live. Thank you so much for joining. Hi, Michael. Nice to see you. It has been an eventful time. I was actually at the Chelsea Wolves game. I was in the press conference with Poch, and I was really looking forward to it, but it was actually so eerie in there because it was such a bad game and he was under so much scrutiny. But good experience. But thank you so much for joining. Hi, Daniel. Hopefully Enzo stays at Chelsea. Yeah, I think he made it loud and clear with his celebration that he is here to stay. What do you think of the sin bin? I think it's such a silly, stupid idea, but hey-ho. Should Poch get sacked? We'll talk about that. Big up to everyone in the chat. Jacob, hello to you. Big up. I'm a Juve fan, but your reviews are class. Thank you so much. Really happy to have you here. I have a nice question for you. Brilliant. Please do leave them in the comments down below. But guys, what a performance. What an absolute performance by Chelsea. What a way to bounce back following the Liverpool game and then the Wolves game, which just topped off a really poor performance for Chelsea all round. And look, I think Pochettino is still going to be under some scrutiny. And I think the Palace game is going to be so important. Like, that is a must win because we've got City away after that. And I think we all know what's waiting around the corner. I'd love to say we'd go to Etihad and put up a show, but I don't think that's going to happen. And at the end of the day, regardless of how good Villa was, we do sort of have to look at the reality. And it's not to say that things can't turn around, but I think Pochettino has to do himself some favours, stick to what worked out against Villa and not make any rash decisions or make any changes that just won't make sense. And that means, you know, not introducing Raheem Sterling again into the lineup because, you know, Mudryk did a good job. Palmer looks bright. I think Nkunku obviously will have a place for himself. Gallagher, what a goal. I mean, you just saw how much it meant to him. And I think he was so patiently waiting this whole time this season to just get that goal. Really happy with him. I think he was very crucial on taking the pace out of Aston Villa's counters when they were sort of on the turnover. And I think that, yeah, on the most part, really good job. Noni Madueke taking on his players, looking bright. I think it really helped that Villa played that high line because it gave us so much more space. Noni Madueke obviously passing those two players on the touchline, but class from him. I'm really pleased for him. And the thing with Noni Madueke is he's so raw, but you can see how much talent he does have. And I know it's inconsistent. In some games, he comes in and he's, you know, really bright. He takes on his man. And sometimes he gets dispossessed too easily. Maybe sometimes he doesn't make the pass and is a bit raw in that final thirds. But you get that with how young he is. And I think Pochettino, looking at the way he was sort of celebrating Noni Madueke, like taking on his men, I think he's got some good plans for him. But again, he's going to have to prove himself because I know for a fact that Poch favours Sterling over Madueke 1,000,000%. So yeah, again, these are young players, and I don't know, guys, if it was a case of, and I don't want to be negative here, take away or discredit our performance, but you know, the fact that we've had so many performances where certain individuals have really stepped up, and there's been others where, you know, you see the odd few individuals have a poor performance. I think Wednesday was just a good night for everyone, and it clicked so well. And I think that, you know, because these players are inconsistent and they can't put up those performances week in, week out, it's so good when everyone turns up on the day. And I honestly think that mentally we turned up as well. And I think maybe Newcastle kind of made that go into Villa Park a little bit easier after they won there. not long ago. But yeah, I think nobody was expecting that. Villa certainly weren't. Emery looked a bit shocked on the in the dugout as well. Poch even looked scared. He looked like he couldn't celebrate even the second goal because he just thought maybe Villa are just looking to punish, but they didn't. So yeah, Sterling is finished, I think, unfortunately. I do too. Look, I don't want Raheem Sterling to start, and he will because he's on the highest wage bill. I think Pochettino, like I said, he sees Sterling as experienced, even though he won't really live up to that. He sees him as one of the players that he can rely on. Far says, I mean, the way they celebrated it was like they won the Champions League. It was a nice win, but I believe we need 10 more games like that one to really believe something. Yeah, look, I agree with you, but it's the fact that in a season like ours, you don't get these moments to celebrate 3 goals, to celebrate a collective team performance being the key word here, because there's been games where we've had individual good moments, but as a collective, apart from Man City, what other game have we played as a unit where everyone's helped out each other, everyone's had sort of fluid passes among each other, and it has made sense and it's produced for the scoreline. So I absolutely get where you're coming from. I don't think it's turning a corner, but I do think there's something for us in these cup games, because look at Borough. You know, that first leg was appalling, one of the worst games ever. But then the second we turned up, it almost seemed like we need that extra pressure. Against Villa, I thought at home, we easily could have got the job done. You know, they presented us with so many opportunities. We just couldn't finish. I think Petrovic did a magnificent job in ensuring that replay as well. I think I praised him the most in that first leg at Stamford Bridge. But again, you know, it's just that thing where why do we need to always add that pressure for the second leg to get the job done? But it worked, and we were, pleasantly surprised. Mudryk is selfish for me. I do get why you think that, but I also like the fact he trusts himself and he backs himself to make that sort of trick or flick or to beat his man. And we honestly need more of that energy, because you can see that, 6 out of 10 times it works. It leads to a cross or it leads to an accurate pass. That free kick from Enzo was ridiculous. Guys, I'm still not over that free kick. I think I've replayed the clip like way too many times. But honestly, the power he put on that, the technique, the pace, because I've always said, he's got such a good range of passes, but I always think that when it comes to shooting, he can't put enough power on it. And honestly, like, I know Tines kind of saw where it was coming, but yeah, there was no saving that. It was absolutely unreal. He deserved that. He deserved that so much. But yeah, easily going down as what a goal. What a goal. And finally, Jackson has scored. Well, let's talk about Nicholas Jackson, because I know he too has been under scrutiny. And guys, if you have watched some of my videos, if you've watched me talk about Jackson, you will know that I think Jackson is so much more effective when he plays on the wing or he comes from deep, because his hold-up play is really good and he almost doesn't have enough time to like fumble with the ball when he receives it. When he is a striker, he does too much because he thinks too much. But what I think is he's got space on the wing. He can sort of make that, take that extra touch or sort of assess his options. But when he's isolated and he has to shoot, he just does too much. I think he's so much better as a winger. And that's why, guys, not to make it negative, but I don't think Jackson's going to be that prolific striker that's going to bag us the goals in the Prem. Sorry if that's harsh, but again, I have just seen too many games where he overthinks it and he doesn't exactly have that striker instinct finish. But fair enough, Jackson, that was striker instinct finish there. Great header, beautifully. Was it Malo Gusto that assisted that one? But Malo Gusto was too brilliant tonight. Guys, please do like this video or this live stream. There's 23 of you in here, so thank you so much for watching. I know it's Friday night and you probably have other plans than to sit here and watch me waffle. So thank you to every single one of you that is locked in. Please do hit the like button. Don't watch Chelsea every week, but from what I've seen, Mudryk is clear of Sterling. I agree with that. I absolutely agree. Thanks for mentioning my channel in your last live, Nina. You're the best. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe. You're so welcome, Liv. Guys, please do check out Liv's channel. She also does Chelsea content. Give her a like, give her a subscribe. Michael says, very inconsistent. The team clearly lacks experience. Don't believe they can win 5 games in a row, given the reason we are 11th. Exactly, Michael. Exactly. And that is the reality of a mid-table team. You win and you lose. You draw, you win, you lose. You go through the motions. And look, I don't believe we go on a run here either. I think we can beat Palace, and we'll talk about Palace later on in the live. But then we've got City after. So you're immediately talking about perhaps 2 wins, maybe, and then you're cut straight back to a defeat, for example. And then, then we've got a cup final to play. That's going to be a whole different mood and a different game to prepare for in its own. And then we'll be back in the Prem. Obviously, we've got Leeds in the next round of the FA Cup. But I don't know about you guys, but I'm quite happy that we're in 2 cups still. Obviously, a finals play, and things are going well in the FA Cup right now. And I think it's such a good distraction from the league because, like you say, Michael, in the league, you have to be consistent week in, week out. Whereas with the cup games, you sort of treat them as their own sort of unit, and then you get to put on a performance. Right, Daniel says, do you think we will get Nkunku goal on Monday and see that blue balloon come out? Yeah, I think we've all been longing for that, haven't we? But yeah, look, I think Nkunku looked so isolated against Wolves, guys, and I put that down to Poch because, again, I don't think Gallagher behind Nkunku can create much for him. At the end of the day, I don't know about you guys, but I see Nkunku as more of a creator and a playmaker. He's great at finishing, don't get me wrong, but I also think when you've got a guy that can create and you don't have that many in the team, you should use him to his strengths and play him there. Like partly when Palmer arrived, I was really keen on seeing him play in a 10, but obviously we know that Poch favoured Gallagher there. Not that he's been doing a terrible job, but I still back him to be more technical, to be more, to see like those passages, and he's got a better vision for the guys that play in front, and I really like what he's about. Like the way he moves the ball, the way he can get out of tight spaces. We saw it against Liverpool. It was a shame because we couldn't celebrate that goal because we were already 4-0 down, but the way that he can sort of really get out of that tight space and have a clinical finish. So I guess, you're looking at someone that's quite versatile. He can kind of do both for you. But again, I think if you've got a player, for example, like Jackson, who maybe has more weaknesses, then you should definitely use... That was a load of waffle that I just started saying there, so I'm not even going to finish that sentence off. Jackson played better on the wing. Yeah, there you go, and take people on more than Sterling. I agree. I absolutely thought that too. And you saw how many more passes he managed to get off that way. You saw he was able to sort of a few aerial crosses, a few passes there that easily could have led to more opportunities as well. So I agree with you, Daniel. I think Jackson's so much more effective when he comes from deep and he's got time to hold up the ball because he's physical, he's so physical and he can use his body to sort of drive the ball. His progressive play is much, much better in my opinion. Hi, Michael. Great win, but I'd like to see us play the whole 90 minutes and concentrate and not get too sloppy. Made me nervous with only 5 minutes to go. Yeah, and look, and we did concede, but to be fair, I thought that was a good goal more than anything. It's good to see that we still managed to maintain the lead as well the whole time because how many games have we seen this season that, we do maybe in the few opportunities go up, but then it's easily overturned, easily leveled as well. We have been... Jackson is better on the wing. Oh, yeah, absolutely. See, everyone agrees on that point. So maybe something food for thought for Poch. Technically, Chelsea's still on the domestic for the domestic treble. Well, you're not wrong. Benzema type. Do you mean Nkunku? I saw a kind of balance. I still don't understand the strategy, to be honest. A well-deserved victory, but I think Villa's players were somewhat tired. I believe the next match will be much more intense. Yeah, look, you could say that. I mean, rocky few games for them. And, I think maybe they kind of entered the game as clear favourites, you can say, because I don't think anyone expected that from Chelsea. So that almost kind of played into it as well, I think, very much so. And then, when you do go 1-0 and 2-0 down at Villa Park, where they've worked so hard to make that place a fortress in recent time, it probably does do something to you. And our fans were so much louder than theirs as well. And I think that also helps, big up to the away fans because they were that 12th man there for our players on Wednesday. if we get Jose back, would you be happy? I've made a video on that, Liv, but I personally wouldn't. Let me know in the comments if you guys would still take Jose. We're going to be lucky to sign anyone in the summer. We have to raise 100 mil in player sales. Clearly we are on the edge. Yeah, look, and that gets harder by the day. You know, when you perform the way you do in the league, and get those results, you know, like market value falls big time, you know, player value falls. You know, you already saw that we tried to price 2 of our, you know, homegrown players to pure profit players that just, there was no market for them whatsoever. You know, you can barely generate 50, let alone anything more than that. So yeah, I agree with you. That's a big thought for a big concern. Big up home girl Nina. Big up to you too, Joey. What are you doing after this? I'm not doing anything tonight, guys. I am an old woman and it's a staying in Friday with me. I've had such a busy week. I've literally just gotten home. So it is a relaxed Friday for me. Are you going to Chelsea versus Arsenal women? Do you know what? I actually think I am going to that one. So hopefully some good distraction there. Evening everyone. Guys, I can't read tonight. And my point is that because of this one win, I can't believe people want to give this bum a chance. Forget all that. Look, I think no one's on that. I even saw the Poch out hashtag trending on Twitter in the last kind of day or so. So I don't think that's going to really change anything. Like I said, it's not that we've turned a corner, but we can be happy when things go right. And you do have to praise the manager when he does get things right. The setup was good. The balance in midfield was spot on. You know, I've been complaining that he's basically left Caicedo as a dead man in the last couple games, left to fend on his own. So yeah, again, praise is due. And he got it right. From here on, it's up to him to see, well, to at least like replicate that and not overcomplicate things when clearly something that works, why would you change it? Don't fix something that's not broken. Lavia, another setback. Guys, when are we going to see Lavia back? That's just such a, like, poor boy. He came and he's barely seen the light of day on the pitch. Got 20 minutes in a Chelsea shirt. Hi, Nippon. Big up to you. I'd like to see Nkunku replace Gallagher. Me too. This is exactly, Michael, what I've been saying. Put Nkunku there behind a striker. Make him the creator. He is going to be so effective. And watch our goals, miraculously increase, because then you've got Palmer on the wing as well, and then you can sort of pick and choose who else you put up there. But that's just so much more creative outlet, you know. I love Gallagher, but sometimes he plays it way too safe, and safety doesn't get you anything, doesn't get you anywhere. It's always great to see your live streams, Nina. Thank you so much, Michael. I really appreciate you for being here, supporting the channel. Thanks everyone. On the road to 4K as well. So if you haven't subscribed, please do so. It really helps out. Hello. How are you doing? I'm really good. Thank you. How are you? I want a winner at this club, something that Jose is. Yeah, look, I think we all do. We're reminiscing, nostalgia, all those things. But yeah, I think we're a long way off. But yeah, person can dream. Who is your favorite player in Chelsea? If you mean at the moment, I'd probably say, oh, that's quite tricky. I mean, you guys know I love Thiago Silva, and regardless of what's been happening recently, I think until the day he leaves Chelsea, he will be my favorite player. I know we did play very well without him on Wednesday, but we don't talk about that. We will talk about that, but we won't. Messi or Ronaldo? Absolutely Messi. No questions there for me. Poch, you really don't like Poch, Joey, do you? And you're not alone, mate, to be fair. But Media Sporting directors, we need quality top tier settings. Exactly why I've been cutting Poch slack, because it's not all Poch, guys. There's so much going on at Chelsea, further up and higher above than Pochettino. So many decisions that, you know, just have not worked out for the greater, and then you are left just sort of questioning the manager, because, you know, he's kind of the face and the forefront of everything. And while I do agree he's, you know, made some horrible decisions, he has contributed to a lot of our downfall this season, I still don't think he's the entire problem. I do get the fact that tactically he's been a bit inconsistent. He kind of goes against himself when something works out on the pitch, and then he changes it when he doesn't need to. You know, like Wednesday worked, the balance was there. Yes, Villa played a high line. You're not going to be able to do that against everyone, but I still think, take the player dynamics. You know, they looked so much more comfortable alongside each other. Caicedo Enzo partnership. That is exactly what, you know, we need to look to achieve. I'm going to Chelsea versus Arsenal. If I find you, can I have a photo? Of course you can, Liv. Of course you can have a photo. I've been I'm quite flattered that someone's asked me for a photo. I've been very disappointed almost the entire season. I feel like I can't be happy anymore when I watch the playing style. Sometimes it's like I'm glad we just lose to see Pochettino sacked. Ouch, Fire. I hope you're not rooting for us to lose in the final as well, because that's not on. I haven't seen any strategy. Look, yeah, you make fair points. I get that. Absolutely justified. There is evidence for that, but at the end of the day, like, we still have to back the team, you know. Time will tell if Poch gets it wrong, but yeah, we'll talk about Crystal Palace in just a moment. I just want to get through a few more of your comments. I think Poch got it spot on, but I'm still heavily in favour of his sacking. Yeah, and I think a lot of fans will vouch for that. Would you start Nkunku on Monday? Yes, absolutely, as long as he's fit and he's okay. Last thing I want is another setback for another player that we've already impatiently waited, to return. But hopefully, you know, I trust that the right people can make that decision based off how ready he is. Do you like the chicken and chips? Do I like chicken and chips? Yeah. Parma Gusto, did I not understand that? Parma Gusto, my favourite. Yeah, agree. Gusto, guys, has been I feel like he's almost gone under the radar a little bit because, you know, obviously Reece James, exceptional, when fit, amazing, has been so integral, but Gusto has filled his boots in his absence, and I think it goes kind of overlooked because, you know, the power of his crosses, the ability, the pace as well. He's so quick. I think I realized how quick he was against the game on Villa. But, you know, he's just so sort of progressive. He kind of looks forward as opposed to passing it back. You know, he can deliver great crosses. And imagine with players that can finish them off, how many assists this guy can have. And I definitely think that he has absolutely lived up and exceeded expectations for a understudy for Reece James. So finally, guys, we get to have two fullbacks, two fully fit fullbacks. In what world did you envision that would happen anytime soon? I don't think we can define the previous game as Pochettino's ace up the sleeve. I mean, what's the point of the team playing so well and not showing it? Do you like the chicken and chips at Chelsea? I meant, oh, sorry. I thought you meant like in general, do I like chicken and chips? The only thing I've ever really had or do actually have is the hot dog in Matthew Harding Lower. If you've had the hot dog in Matthew Harding Lower, you know exactly what I'm on about. It's so dry, but it's really good. Like, I don't know what it is, but I don't think I've tried the chicken and chips. I don't think we have those, actually. We don't have chicken and chips down in... I don't know. Let me know. But definitely not spoiled for food choice down there. I was happy not to see Sterling. Yeah, I think we all agree with that. But guys, let's talk about Crystal Palace on Monday night, because going away to Selhurst Park, obviously we beat them at home just sort of towards the end of the year, and you know, I think that game wasn't too convincing, but it's almost, in some ways, we can really relate to, like, the two clubs in many ways right now, kind of in the same situation. You know, both managers seem to be kind of, well, Roy more so, under scrutiny, sort of on borrowed time. The fan bases both have been very deflated in recent times. Palace, basically, I've got a really good friend who supports Palace, and he basically doesn't really want to watch their games anymore. You know, he's so fed up. The same thing, results, performances, injuries, ownership, just all these problems that in some ways we relate to, definitely. But it's going to be interesting. I think we do and can win that game. And I'm not just going off the fact that we won against Aston Villa. I think, you know, turning up, I say that now and I almost instantly regret it. I don't want to jinx it, but I just think that we can take some of that self-esteem that we did. And I think if Nkunku starts, you know, again, you've got a creator. If Palmer's having a day, you know, you're almost kind of guaranteed a goal from there as well. And I just think, you know, Palace might sit back on us. They might just try and hit us on the counter. They're missing Elise to injury. Eze, I believe, Mark Gehi as well is not playing. So, you know, those are key players out. So that already kind of eases our job a little bit. So judging by those factors, I'm going in a bit more confident. But let me know what you guys think. Obviously, Selhurst Park, you know, we're playing away from home. But sort of, yeah, home or away, we haven't really had that record where we can say, oh, we play better at home or play better away this season, because it's just been up, down, left, right, and centre for us. What consistency has there been? So it's hard to say, but at the same time, I am going a little bit confident. And then that means 2 wins in a row, and then we get slapped back to reality when we go away to Man City. But hey, that's how the league works for you. But I wouldn't change too much from what we saw on Wednesday. I think it worked, but I say that, I know Raheem Sterling's coming straight back in. And you know what, guys? I have this wild theory. It's not probably that wild. You probably won't think it's that wild. But I think Pochettino sees Raheem Sterling as, one of his senior players that he will play at any cost. And that managers always rest their more senior players, or the ones that have been overworked for cup games. And, Conor Gallagher has kind of been a senior player for us as well this season. And coincidentally, is it coincidental that Pochettino has rested him for 2 games a season, and they've both been cup games, or maybe 3? And it's the same with Raheem Sterling, to be honest. And I don't think it's a case of, Noni Madueke has proved he can play. I just think Poch is resting him for Palace, resting him for Man City, resting him for the final. So I promise you, 97% Raheem Sterling starts on Monday, maybe even 98. No worries at Palace. We will win 3-1. Jackson, Disasi, and Chilwell. Those are my scorers. Well, Michael, I'll pin that if you are correct. Hopefully you are, but yeah, that sounds like it could be right. Conceding, yeah, no surprise there. Jackson, Disasi, and Chilwell. Maybe Disasi scores from a corner, then we can get our set piece stats up further. But yeah, he looked good, didn't he? And Chilwell, yeah, I think he needs one for self-esteem. Again, has been kind of under scrutiny. He's taken the captain armband. Didn't have the best return that we could have possibly asked for. But yeah, he also will want to get on the score sheet at some point. Isn't it odd that Silva was left on the bench because of his wife? If we lose the next game, how will you feel? Could you explain your feelings of disappointment? Well, disappointment, is that not descriptive enough? How I will feel. I mean, is it really disappointment? It's kind of like, guys, as a match day going fan, you sort of, well, at least this season, I speak from experience, you kind of go to every game knowing sort of the level we are at, how it's been, you judge off previous fixtures, but it's always that like 1%. It's always that 1% of hope that you hang on to as a football fan, where you say anything can happen. And that is the 1% I always hold on to. And then if we do lose, well, it's like, well, yeah, I mean, we kind of expected it in a really sad way. I'm sorry to strip our standards, bury them underground, but you guys know what I'm talking about. I'm not really saying anything that isn't true. We know our league position. And at the end of the day, like I said, Palace are not in good form, rocky form, to say the least. I think they're 15th, 14th, 15th, somewhere around that area. We're not separated massively in terms of points, but I think a lot of fans will be really disappointed if we lose to Palace, 100%. How long would you give Nkunku on Monday? Because I don't want him getting injured again, because we need him. Yeah, you're right. And I think, again, not even that, but Man City as well, before we play Liverpool in the cup final, he's going to be crucial in those games. So maybe you're right, Daniel. You make a good point there. Probably not great to play him for a 490, and I don't think Pochettino will. But then again, it's also like, I don't know. It's hard because he will get sort of scrutinized for it if he doesn't play him for the 490. But no, you've made me really overthink that now. I don't think he will play the whole game. Curious to see how the team turns up on Monday. Yeah, absolutely. And I think there has been a problem with mentality, a big issue with mentality. Again, stating the obvious. Wow, Nina, so insightful. But there's been issues with mentality where we seem to like lose a game or we win a game, and then we go into the next game with either some sort of complacency, or it's like, well, we've forgotten how we played the previous game, or we forgot how we turned up. And I guess a lot of that is on Poch as well, because he makes so many changes at times, and you don't sort of you can't expect something to work if you keep chopping and changing it every game, right? This is why I say, Poch hasn't even had a chance to build his own or discover essentially his starting 11. Starting 11 is always different, and I just want to see some consistency. That is all I want to see. So it's half down to the players' mentality, yeah, absolutely. But hopefully they can take in from that, because they strive from winning. Look at Enzo when he scores. He looks like he gets reborn. It means so much to him. if we play as well as we did last time, I think we will win the rest of the matches. Yeah, look, again, it's just about who sound like Chilwell here, who wants it more. But no, for me right now, there's a bigger opportunity for Chelsea to take this one away. Sometimes maybe good. Yeah, exactly. I know that saying. I'm not even going to try and pronounce his surname because I'm going to butcher that. So I know exactly what saying you're on about, though. I fancy us for this game. Jackson on the left seems to be working. I agree. I absolutely agree with that. But then who are you putting sort of in the middle? I really don't fancy Cole Palmer playing in any more false nine situations, guys. I honestly, like, it's no coincidence that his worst games or his most terrible games have been in that position. So I don't know. It's a tricky one. I think we win 3-1. Yeah, a lot of 3-1 circling round. In all fairness, Thiago's wife spoke for all of us at the time. Who knows? Maybe it's the push. Yeah, I mean, she did kind of go viral with that tweet, didn't she? It's getting to the stage. Even Man United fans are feeling sorry for us. It's tragic. Yeah, that's really embarrassing. I can't lie. Who do you want to sell on our team? If you don't, that's fine. Who do I want to sell on our team? I mean, kind of too late for that now, isn't it? I would have sold Breuer for permanent. I would have sold. Who else would I have sold? God, that's a tricky question. I'll come back to you. We should spank Palace 3-0 and Nkunku should start the match. Yeah, a lot of 3-1, 3-0s. Let me know your predictions, guys. Share, stream, comment, like, and subscribe. Yes, guys, if you're still here and you haven't liked this live stream, please do so. If you want Chelsea to win on Monday, you've got to hit the like button. Let's see if that works. Everyone who's not a Chelsea fan is like, ha, I'm not doing that. Nina, ever considered a Chelsea FIFA career mode? No. Oh, that's so funny. Excuse me. Poch should have never got the job in the first place, but there are much bigger problems than him. The owners have blood on their hands for what they have done to our club. I can't stand them. Yeah, Liam, I agree with you. That's why I haven't just been calling for Poch's head, because bring in the next manager, they're going to have the same problems. The Chelsea's going to have the same problems. The club will have the same problems. It's just so much more deeper rooted, unfortunately. It's not just as easy as changing the manager, unfortunately. If we sell Sterling in summer, who would you bring in for the upgrades? That's a great question. I mean, I still am a really big fan, and I still really wanted to bring in someone like Elise, but, you know, right now he is proven to be a little bit injury prone. Whether that's the fact that he's injury prone or he's being mismanaged is a different question. I almost see a situation where, you know, he has not been recovering well, he's not been managed well, and it's sort of becoming a bit of a chronic problem. But I think he'd be really well suited to a team like ours. Is Crystal Palace a guaranteed win, especially regarding their latest injuries? Maybe. That's what I say. Can't believe fans are saying drop Silva. He's been our best defender. I think that too, but I will be screamed at if I say that. Look, I do agree that intensity is sort of higher. Maybe sometimes he does slow down play. He does, or, you know, he has been at fault for some goals conceded, but equally, I think if we flash back to the start of the season, so many good blocks, so many good moments, so many good interceptions, and even plays the ball forward. You know, I don't think he's that washed as people think, and I know that's not what they're saying, but I know that people are ready for Silva to be done. But, you know, a few months ago I would have given him a contract extension, so I don't know how wild that is. But yeah, it's not even Poch's team. He didn't sign any of these players, so it makes sense why we're not doing well in the league. Yeah, look, I back that, and I've been saying, like, have I just been delusionally Poching because I believe that, you know, he's going to be a good manager, or his tactics work out and his system will build and thrive anytime soon? But it's the truth, you know, Michael. You do speak the truth. He didn't sign all these players. And actually, if you guys remember, a month or so ago, he said that he wanted more experience in the team. He didn't get to make those calls, and he didn't have any agency to really do anything. Unfortunately, we were in no position to really go out and spend either in January after so much. But, you know, the fact is that he's had to deal and make and work out where these players fit, how they thrive into this system, and, you know, produce collective performances week in, week out. So I absolutely back that, Michael. It's what I've been echoing this whole time, because, Yeah, really, really tough. And not all these players are going to come good at the end of the day. He probably doesn't even think that all of them are good. Sorry, that's a bit rude, but you know what I mean. You look so pretty. Thank you so much, Liv. You're so sweet. People forget how long before Pep and Klopp had real success. They took time to build a side. Yeah, look, I get that, Michael, but I just think that with Poch, the reason why they wouldn't have given or wouldn't have sort of compared the situation to like Pep and Klopp's is that, you know, results have just been terrible performances. Like, we haven't recognized ourselves at all at the Bridge, and it's like, you know, because he overcomplicates things where even us as fans, you know, I'm no like tactical genius and I'm no coach, I'm no football expert, but sometimes I look at the lineups or I look at the way we have set up and I think, Pochettino, you know, you've got it so wrong. Like, how have you got it so wrong here? And there's been, I think that those times outweigh the times where he has got it right, which is exactly why I think that people won't even think to give him the time that Pep and Klopp had, you know, in their seasons. How many Chelsea matches have you been to in total? Do you mean in my life or this season? I've been to every home game this season except maybe 1 or 2, and I've only been to like 2, 3, maybe 4 away games, but in my life, quite a lot. I think quite a lot. Nina would win the treble with Chelsea. Why are you so obsessed with FIFA 24 career mode? 2-1 Chelsea, another narrow win. Yep. Hopefully, Nkunku through the middle. Yeah, I don't like Palmer up top. Neither do I. Do you think that Mudryk deserves a run of games? Perhaps a start against Palace? Look, I have been saying this for the longest time. I'm probably like a parrot. To those that watch me often, you guys probably think I'm an absolute parrot. It's the same thing. I've been saying ever since Mudryk stepped foot into Chelsea that he deserves runs of games. He deserves to be trusted, but he comes on the pitch sometimes and he looks like a lost puppy. And then I think maybe he does that in training too. Maybe that's why managers don't play him or don't give him a run of games, because they know how raw he is. He's talented, absolutely, but I just think that he's very raw. Sometimes I look at him and I think, how do you not see that pass? Or like, how do you not see that, you know, to make that run or to get in behind or to do this, or, you know, you get dispossessed so easily. And I almost think that Pochettino looks at Mudryk as a bit of a risk factor right now. And he is in no shape or form in a position to be taking risk factors. You know, his job is on the line here. I don't think he wants to sort of, count or rely on players that have good games, or rather, shall I say, have good moments in games, and, you know, don't look anywhere near, threatening in consistent games. Have you got your scarf signed? If you ask, I have my women Charles. Oh, really? Was that Neve Charles you've got there? No, I don't have. Nobody's ever signed anything of mine. That's really sad. Yeah, but anyways, guys, let me know your predictions. I'm going to round this one out shortly because I understand it's getting late, but please do let me know what you think will happen. The Roy Poch battle on Monday night is going to be interesting. Will Chelsea win? Will it be a second win? Will it be 2 wins in a row, guys? Will it be 2 wins in a row? But look, I think that whatever happens, you know, if we do lose, I think it's going to go straight back to calling for Poch out. But then, you know, we've got 2 massive games coming up after that. And I just think, you know, if we lose, it's going to put such a sour sort of apple within the fan base, you know, within the club. And how do we actually prepare for 2 massive games like that if we do lose to Palace? That's why I think it's more important. I know this sounds really crazy. Obviously, we need points to climb up further in the league, but I think it's important to get a win more than anything, so we have even the slightest bit of self-esteem going into Man City and Liverpool in the final. Otherwise, I dread to think how we'll cope. You know, I mean, mentality at the end of the day thrives and is built from winning. It's built from having good moments. But yeah, anyways, let me get through a few more of your comments. I agree with you when it comes to giving time to Mudryk, but he doesn't do himself, any favors. Exactly. You know, he gets given the time, and what does he do? He gets, and that second game against Barra in the second leg, everyone was having an absolute blast. Everyone was dropping superstar moves, and then Mudryk was just like, you know, he was dropped in from space and he didn't really know how to play football at all. And I love him. And I think he's, you know, again, so talented. He's got pace. He's got a lot of ability, and he looks like he's got desire as well. But I just think it needs to be managed. It needs to be molded. Someone needs to work very closely with him, and maybe he's not ready to play senior football at this level week in, week out. So for me to say that, I have come to the realization, because trust me, guys, it's been a year since I've saying give Mudryk game time. But yeah, okay, 3-1. We've got a 2-1 for Palace. 2-1 for Palace. Oh, I thought you said Chelsea there. Okay, we've got our first defeat prediction there. Palace win 2-1. Could go either way. Yeah, I guess that sounds about right. I don't think it's going to be an extensive scoreline. We've got 3-2. Let's leave it at here. 3-2 for Palace. A lot of goals. Keep us entertained. But guys, again, thank you so much for watching this whole live stream. If you have stayed until the very end, thank you so much. I really appreciate you all. Please do hit the like. Stay tuned for more content, and I'm planning on doing more live streams actually next week. I think I'm gonna do quite a few because I've got a little bit more free time. It's been chaos, but yeah, let me know though if you would like to see more of those, what videos you'd like me to do. And yeah, again, thank you so much for watching, guys. I hope you have a lovely weekend, and I'll be back with a match review following Palace Chelsea. Hopefully it's a good one. Take care of yourselves, guys. Thank you so much for watching.